The history of bike engines is a fascinating journey that intertwines the evolution of bicycles, motorcycles, and the internal combustion engine. Below is a detailed account of how bike engines developed from early prototypes to the advanced systems we see today. 1. Early concepts. 1860s, 1890s, steam-powered and gas engines. Bicycles emerged as a popular mode of transport in the mid-19th century. As the need for faster, less physically demanding transport grew, inventors began experimenting with ways to power bicycles using engines. The earliest known motorized bicycles appeared in the late 1860s and were often powered by steam engines. These were heavy, inefficient, and difficult to control but marked the beginning of motorized two-wheelers. An early example was the Michaux-Perreaux steam velocipede in 1868. By the 1880s, the development of the internal combustion engine, ICE, made gas-powered bikes more practical. Gottlieb Daimler is credited with creating the first motorcycle in 1885, known as the Daimler Reitwagen. It was powered by a single-cylinder, air-cooled internal combustion engine. This laid the foundation for the development of modern motorcycles. 2. Birth of the motorcycle industry. 1900s, 1920s. 1901 marked the introduction of Indian motorcycles, one of the first mass-produced motorcycles, featuring a single-cylinder engine. Indian motorcycles were closely followed by Harley-Davidson, which launched its first bike in 1903 with a similar setup. During the early 20th century, there was a steady evolution in motorcycle engines. Single-cylinder, four-stroke engines became popular due to their reliability. These engines were relatively small, around 150 to 200 cubic centimeters, and offered limited power, but they were enough to make motorcycles faster than bicycles. In 1910s and 1920s, innovations such as multi-cylinder engines, V-twin configurations, and improved carburation systems started to make motorcycles more powerful and versatile. This period saw the introduction of famous brands like Triumph, 1902, and BMW, 1923, both of which contributed significantly to motorcycle engine technology. 3. Development and refinement. 1930s, 1950s. In the 1930s, motorcycles became more reliable and efficient thanks to advancements in engine design. OHV, overhead valve, engines replaced the older side valve configurations, improving performance and efficiency. The British manufacturers such as Norton, BSA, and AJS played a dominant role in advancing bike engines during this period. World War II accelerated motorcycle development, with motorcycles being used by various militaries. Bikes like the Harley-Davidson WLA and the British Triumph 3HW became legendary. These bikes featured 750 cubic centimeters and 500 cubic centimeters engines respectively, and were robust enough to endure wartime conditions. After the war, motorcycles became more accessible to civilians. Companies like Honda, Yamaha, and Suzuki, Japanese manufacturers, emerged as global players, introducing smaller, more affordable motorcycles powered by single-cylinder two-stroke engines. 4. The Golden Age of Motorcycles. 1960s, 1980s. The 1960s and 70s are considered the golden age of motorcycle engineering. This was a period of rapid innovation and competition between manufacturers. Engines became more powerful, and bike speeds increased dramatically. Honda, in particular, revolutionized the motorcycle world with the release of the Honda CB750 in 1969. It featured a four-cylinder, four-stroke engine, offering unprecedented performance, reliability, and refinement at a relatively low cost. This bike is often credited as the world's first superbike. By the 1970s, inline-four engines, pioneered by Honda, and two-stroke engines, popular in lighter, more affordable bikes, became widely used. The Kawasaki Z1 and Suzuki GT750 were other notable models of the era. The 1980s saw more emphasis on performance and aerodynamics. Companies like Ducati and Yamaha introduced advanced features like desmodromic valves, liquid cooling, and turbocharged engines in some models. Sport bikes such as the Yamaha RZ350 and Suzuki GSX R750 became the face of this high-performance era. 5. Modern motorcycle engines, 1990s present. The 1990s saw continued innovation in engine technology with improvements in fuel injection, computerized engine management systems, and materials like aluminum alloys for lighter engines. Ducati and BMW continued to push the boundaries of performance with V-twin engines, boxer engines, and multi-cylinder designs. Liquid-cooled engines became the norm, improving power output and efficiency while allowing manufacturers to design engines with larger displacements, 1,000 cubic centimeters and above. The rise of superbikes like the Honda CBR series, Yamaha R1 and Kawasaki Ninja series pushed the limits of engine performance. These bikes often featured inline-4 engines with power outputs exceeding 150 horsepower. In the 2000s and beyond, engine designs became more refined with an emphasis on reducing emissions and improving fuel efficiency without sacrificing power. Electric motorcycles like those from Zero Motorcycles and Harley-Davidson's Livewire have introduced a new era of engine development, aiming to replace the internal combustion engine with electric power. 6. Future trends in motorcycle engines. The future of motorcycle engines appears to be increasingly focused on electric powertrains and alternative fuels like hydrogen. Major manufacturers are already investing in electric motorcycles, with electric engines offering instant torque and zero emissions. Advances in battery technology, energy recovery systems, and AI-enhanced engine management are likely to shape the next generation of motorcycles. Traditional internal combustion engines, while still being refined, are likely to coexist with electric engines for at least a few more decades. Summary of major engine types in bikes. Steam engines, 1860S, 1880S, first attempts at motorized bikes. Single-cylinder gasoline engines, 1880S, 1920S, early internal combustion engines that powered the first motorcycles. V-twin engines, 1910s present, iconic for American brands like Harley-Davidson. Inline-4 engines, 1960s present, popularized by Honda, Kawasaki, and other sport bike manufacturers. Two-stroke engines, 1930s, 1980s, lightweight and powerful, used primarily in racing and affordable bikes. Electric engines, 2000s present, the emerging technology for a zero-emission future. The history of bike engines is a testament to human ingenuity and the ongoing pursuit of speed, efficiency, and innovation. Each era brought significant improvements, making motorcycles faster, more reliable, and more accessible to people around the world.